2018 college football season. It's been a long off season. Happy to be here. My name's Pearson Lavery.
I'm Easton Hammonds.
I'm your boy, Seth Energard.
And Hayden Reed.
Start off the show. How do you boys feel about the whole Ohio State Urban Meyer controversy we've had these last few weeks?
Listen, man, there's a lot of things you can say about this, but it's either a fireable offense or it's not. Don't suspend a man for 3 games or a whole season. You got to cut him loose or keep him. Either way, I'm mad.
I agree. There's quite a bit of drama to the situation. 3 games, it's right in the middle. I don't know how you pick a middle point to this situation.
I really don't either. I mean, it's a disgrace on the university, it's a disgrace on the football program, and it's a disgrace on the Urban Meyer's
I mean,
family.
when you watch an investigation within your university, it's not like you're going to tear apart your own football program.
Exactly.
What do we expect?
I mean, I would expect some sort of Penn State ordeal at the very least. I mean, you got to do something, but this is like a slap on the wrist. Who's he going to be turning a blind eye to next? His wife?
Only time will tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I am absurdly irate.
Well, now on to the good stuff. We each have some strong opinions on some of the coaching hires this offseason. Let's start off with Nebraska hiring UCF's Scott Frost. Personally, I think it's a great hire.
You know what? I think it's a good one, too. I think he'll be working out great, all in water. He's happy. He's where he wants to be. He's going to have that program back on the rise sooner rather than later.
Yep.
They packed that stadium. He knows what he's getting into. Like I said, alma mater.
Let's not forget, he coached at UCF. Okay, first of all, it's a little bit different level when you come to Nebraska than when you're playing in. I mean, it's basically a glorified FCS.
But hold on now. They beat Auburn. They're the darlings.
Yeah, they beat an Auburn
They're
team
the
that was
best. They won the
disappointed. That was disappointed that they didn't get into the playoff. They played a
But it's
Still
still
to shreds Auburn team.
But it's still a New Year's Six bowl. You got to show up and play in those games.
New Year's
Those are the big
New
money
Year's
games.
Six bowl. Yeah, okay.
Well, was Auburn happy to be there, or were they just going through the motions?
They weren't happy to be there. They should have played with that chip on their shoulder. But you know what? They didn't. So that's
They had
all.
no reason to play for a chip on their shoulder. They're playing a glorified high school team.
All right, let's move on.
Well, another one, UCLA getting Chip Kelly. Many teams want him, but
You know,
The
if
Eagles
it's-
don't.
That's a good point. I mean, he's going to run that hurry-up, up-tempo style offense. I mean, I don't know if the Bruins can keep up, but we'll see. He's in the high-flying Pac-12. I mean, not much defense flies around here.
He's recruited well out west before. I think he's going to do a good job again. It might take a little bit of time. There's not a lot of talent there right now. But
He's going to get his
they can
guys.
compete for a Pac-12 championship, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. I think he's going to do a good job. Great offensive mind.
Yep, great job.
How do you feel about Willie Taggart at Florida State?
Listen, man, that's a reach. I don't know why they felt they need to go get him. They're Florida State. They're a top-tier program in most people's eyes. I wouldn't say they're blue blood, but they're a great program. A lot of
Not so fast. It's excellent.
Okay.
You like the Florida State program, huh?
No, love it.
Really?
Excellent program.
I mean, personally, I think they're probably a top 10 program. I mean, Willie Taggart, though, he is 47 and 50 all time as a head coach. Is that really, if you're a top 10 program, which I think they are, is that who you want?
You'd be better off.
He had one 10-2 season at South Florida.
Listen here, man.
Went with 7-5 at Oregon, and now he's at Florida
I had
State.
to Google this guy before I came on. I had no idea who that was. I thought I'd find his profile on LinkedIn or something. I had no idea who this guy is.
He kinda sounds like
He's taking Jimbo's
He
place.
kind of sounds like a country singer in my eyes.
Willie Taggart.
Willie Taggart, baby. Hey, remember the name whenever they go 7-6.
Well, we're going to stick down south, different conference than the SEC. Tennessee, it was quite the whirlwind of them finding a head coach. Mike Gundy didn't want it. They tried to get many guys. No one would take it. They ended up with Jeremy Pruitt, defensive coordinator from Alabama.
Hold on. You mentioned Mike Gundy, and it's a sore subject for me. I'm not sure why OSU or anyone still wants him for that matter. He's a mediocre coach at a mediocre
Terrible
school.
recruiter.
Terrible.
Terrible.
What is it, 40th in the country?
Not much better than that.
Whenever you've got Iowa State and Vanderbilt beating you out in recruiting battles, there's something wrong. You got to change that.
Definitely. I agree.
Mike Holder, he might not be the most popular guy in Stillwater, but he knows what he's talking about. He should have cut him loose.
But Jeremy Pruitt, good hire.
I mean, he's out of the Nick Saban coaching tree, and I mean, those guys have gone on to do. I mean, it's mixed results. You've got Kirby Smart, who he's an all-time recruiter, but the body work, it's kind of skewed. I mean, you don't know how somebody coming off that coaching tree is really going to do. So only time will tell.
I don't see him being the next Kirby Smart, but he might be okay.
A lot of expectations in Knoxville. I don't know if they can live up to them.
This man's hard to please.
They were a dumpster fire this
They're
summer.
like A&M fans.
Tennessee was in shambles.
They won a lot of
at the end of the year
success,
last
but
year. They were in
they're not known
shambles.
for it.
The two Arizona schools. Arizona bringing in Kevin Sutherland. Arizona State, Herm Edwards. Interesting hires, if you ask me.
Someone's best work with Houston.
I mean,
He's meant to be an offensive coordinator, and that's it. I think he's washed up as a coach.
He produced Johnny Football.
Johnny Football produced himself.
he can't move on from it, though.
You can't have the number one quarterback in the nation as you're coming in right after Johnny.
Let's look at where Johnny's at now, though. How
How
about
about clean and playing in the Canadian Football League? He's going to make it back to
Uh,
the Don't
playing-
hate on
playing in
Don't
the
hate
Canadian
on Johnny.
Football
Get off
He's
Johnny's
on a
back.
roster.
Get off Johnny's
Could-
back.
playing on the Canadian Football League means nothing?
Really?
Nothing.
Could we go play on the Canadian Football League?
Yes.
Probably.
Okay.
This is a Division I athlete right here.
Okay, we'll get to that later.
To me, Sutherland and Herm Edwards are just big names. They won't do much. But
Fair enough.
Texas A&M, one of the biggest hires of the offseason, bringing Jimbo Fisher over from Florida State, $7.5 million a year. Can he live up to the task?
Listen, I've got a lot of opinions on this man. He's like the Matt Ryan of coaches. You take away the 1 year he had Jameis, that one great national championship team, which they were incredible. He's a great recruiter, unlike his old pal Gundy. But I don't know, to be determined how good of a coach is he really? If you take away last season and the national championship team, he's a middle of the road coach. I mean, he's going to get you ranked 15, get you in a decent bowl game, but what's he really going to do?
You know, speaking of that, if you take away 2012 to 2014, his teams, as a head coach, averaged 4 losses per season. Is that worth $7.5 million?
Oh, not in my eyes.
Because they've already given him that national championship trophy. They're just waiting to fill in the year.
I'm telling you.
I don't see that year.
A lot of
coming anytime soon.
expectations up there for the boys. I mean, and honestly, if he doesn't perform this year, I think he's on the hot seat.
I
I mean-
have to agree. You're paying a guy $7.5 million. Personally, I don't like when teams fire coaches too quick. It takes some time to get their players in
I
there.
know.
Those A&M fans are not very patient.
No, they're not very patient for the champions champs.
They're not.
I think the big winner in all this is the Last Chance U series because they're about to get a lot of players from Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher has a history of producing some fine young men. I can assure you.
Season 4 is going to be a must-watch.
Now, Seth, you mentioned Jimbo being on the hot seat. Another coach. What about Tom Herman? Same state down in Texas with the Longhorns.
Man, those Texas fans, they're much like the A&M fans. They want success now. They're always back, but keep looking behind them. They're not there.
They're ranked in the preseason. We've seen this before. I don't know if they're any better than last year. They still don't have a different quarterback.
Still got Ellinger in.
Not buying into Ellinger.
Not
I
buying
don't think he
into
was
him.
just young last year.
Connor Williams is gone. He's with the Cowboys. God rest his soul.
I thought Herman was a good hire when they hired him, but
God
I
rest
just
his soul.
don't think they're very patient down there. So, about Ed Orgeron over at LSU.
You know what?
See?
I don't know, man.
You know, he was my favorite guy on The Blind Side, actually.
He seems like
That's
a real-
all I know about it.
You know what? He seems like your crazy uncle that you only run into at family reunions.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He's got to have a successful season, put together 9 or 10 wins, get him to a good bowl game, just hold on to his job. I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't think there's any amount of mush mouth that you can understand that will save his job.
You love seeing him on the grill at a family reunion, but I don't know if you like seeing him on your sidelines as your head coach, especially at a program with high expectations like this.
I just had to Google him. I thought it was Tom Bergeron, America's Funniest Home Videos host.
Hey,
Congratulations to this
he
guy.
could probably coach win just many games.
Probably pretty close.
Probably.
What about Jim Harbaugh? He's getting paid a lot of money. Can't beat Ohio State. Is he on the hot seat?
Jim, listen to me. Beat Ohio State. That's all I got to say for you. Don't worry about getting to the playoff. Don't worry about winning 9 games. Beat Ohio State. You will be safe.
Personally, I think they like Harbaugh up there. I don't really think he's on the hot seat yet. Maybe a rough start, maybe a rough end of the season. Maybe then, but I think another decent season and
A lot of people are hyping
he'll
up
still
Shea.
be around.
A lot of people are hyping up Shea Patterson, old number 22. Let's see what he can get done.
I think he's a good coach. I want to give Harbaugh a couple more years and evaluate him after that. I don't think he's that bad.
Well, now, fellas, let's move on to our Heisman Watch, presented by Romine's Fitness in Cartersville, Oklahoma. So early favorites consist of, the likes of Bryce Love, Will Greer, Jonathan Taylor.
You know, I've thought long and hard about this decision, and I'm going to have to go with Rodney Anderson. After last season not playing the first 3 games much, being behind Trey Sermon, I think he's going to have a breakout year, then
That's a solid choice. I mean, you look at the offensive production he put up, even with Baker there. I mean, he was gashing people in the middle even whenever they knew it was running down. He's a human wrecking ball.
Who do you like for the Heisman this season?
I'm going to go with the quarterback out of West Virginia, Will Greer.
Oh!
I think the guy. You okay?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think the guy put up phenomenal numbers last year. Unfortunately, got hurt with a couple games left. He can sling it around. I really like him. I think he's a decent athlete, not a great athlete, but I think he can get it done with his arm in a conference that doesn't have very good defenses. So
Listen here.
I'm excited for Will.
Listen here. He is the most overrated quarterback in the nation.
What's your evidence of that?
okay.
Okay, he won 6 games before he got hurt. They were against mediocre to terrible teams. He put up great numbers, but they were terrible.
Yeah, but you got to focus on the production.
You got to focus. Yeah, it's easy to put up production when you're playing Kansas. Whenever you're playing OU and you can't even go and suit up, what are you going to do?
You can't suit up because you got a broken finger.
Okay, listen
you got a
here.
broken hand.
That broken hand was on the opposite throwing arm. I don't know.
You got to catch a snap.
Hey,
You
Tyrod.
don't put your...
Hey, Tyrod did it fine in preseason games.
Tyrod knows he's fighting for his job. Will Greer's not. He was about to play in a garbage bowl game.
Hey,
so
Will
I
Greer's
don't
fighting
blame
for a
him.
draft pick. He better show me something.
He's fighting for a Heisman.
He better show me
It may
something.
not even be a fight. He may just run away with it. Let me share something with you, Pearson. Last year, 3,490 yards, almost 3,500 yards passing,
All passing yards.
almost a 3-to-1 TD to interception ratio, 34-12, passer rating of 162, completion percentage of 64%.
All right, now show me his out of conference. Who did he play?
That's his all-around schedule. I don't have his schedule up.
All right, show me his out of conference. He
I
was
said
terrible.
it doesn't matter.
He's decent in the mediocre games.
So by that
Yeah,
logic,
good game.
do you consider yourself a Baker Mayfield fan?
I do. I think
They play in the same conference. So are you going to say that Baker's numbers are
Hey.
skewed?
he showed up in Ohio State. He showed up at Georgia. He showed up
He
at
did-
Texas.
he did
showed
show
up
up.
at Oklahoma State.
Well, the second half of Georgia's questionable.
Okay, I put that on some questionable play call.
Fair enough, but
And
They
still,
did not put the ball
I'm
in the
sure,
kids
yeah.
in overtime.
Lincoln Riley's getting a better play caller than what West Virginia has. Jake Spavanaugh, I think.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah,
And then old bald man with the mullet. What's his face?
Dana Holgerson.
Dana.
The guy who looks
Speaking
like
of the hot seat, Dana, get your crap together. You got some work to show me, and I don't believe you right now. All right.
Dana Holgerson looks like the guy in Fool's Gold.
But you know what? The guy I have my eyes on this year is Drew Lock, baby. Put your backpacks on. We're going to school.
We're talking about out-of-conference play, and you throw out Missouri's Drew Lock?
Hey, man, listen here.
A bottom feeder in the SEC?
Hold up. Let me talk. The man can sling it. The man can
We
sling
don't know
it. The
because his
man
games aren't on TV.
Exactly. Get this guy in front of America. He will ball out for 12 games.
Okay, well, you
Look
got to have
for
a
Missouri.
station that's going to pick up Missouri football.
9-3. He's going to be a 4,000-yard passer. See him in New York.
Well, I know it's a cookie cutter answer, but I'll go with Bryce Love. Stanford's had many good players, finished runner-up for the Heisman. People are aware of him now. I think he could have a good shot at it this year.
Way to pick the easy pick with the
I mean-
runner-up from last year.
So 3 reasonable
Someone
opinions
has
and a
to
hot
say it.
take. That's not bad for a panel of 4.
Let's move on to some of the quarterback competitions and quarterback changes this year. First off, here in Norman, OU switching from Baker Mayfield to Kyler Murray. How do you guys feel about the switch?
You know, there was a lot of rumblings out of Norman that Austin Kendall had a good shot. I mean, I like the guy. From what I've seen in the few amounts of games that he's played, he could be the heir apparent. But you know what? Kyler's got that number 1 5-star right next to him. It's hard to pass up on that guy with elite skills.
What do you think he's
I think, unfortunately, I hope to goodness that Kyler Murray can perform this year. And I think he's a good player. But we're going to miss this guy so much in the locker room and on the field. This kind of guy, there's never been somebody like him that's come through OU.
Generational
We're
talent.
It's
Even the boss.
we're pulling for Kyler. We're rooting for you. Get us back to the playoff. But this guy right here deserves to be worshipped because we're going to miss him.
For sure we'll miss Baker. I think Kyler's a great talent. He learned from one of the best, Baker Mayfield. There's a great team around him. I think he'll do all right.
I want to go back to was it the Big 12 championship game when Kyler gets in for Baker Mayfield because he can't play due to
West Virginia.
West
Last
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah, end of
West
the year
Virginia.
game. He's playing against a powerhouse Will Greer.
Okay.
that did not play in the game.
Didn't play.
Comes out first drive and almost takes one to the house on his feet. I mean, you can't look past his ground game.
And I don't think the
Man's
guy
got
gets, he doesn't get enough credit for his passing game. Has a great arm, makes good
Makes it
decisions.
swing it. That's why he was number 9 pick in the MLB draft.
That's right.
Go A's.
Great outfield arm. They got a steal on that pick. What about Georgia? You had Jake Fromm competing with Justin Fields, the top recruit in the nation. You're saying Jake Fromm has the job for now. How do y'all feel about that?
Jake from State Farm.
I mean, we can't really say a whole lot because he showed up against OU, did a good job. National championship was a different story.
I think they
I
would
would.
have been.
No, you go ahead.
I think Kirby Smart would have been dumb to let his team switch from Jake Fromm. He had a great season last year. You don't want to go with a freshman if you don't have to.
Oh no, you got a guy that you got him from a true freshman up to at least the next 2 years. I mean, he had a great performance. I wasn't on board with him until I saw what he did in the Rose Bowl. I thought he was just a game manager like most SEC quarterbacks, but he really showed up and shined, and I'll give him credit for that.
I think he'll hold on to that job. I don't think Fields is getting it this year.
Justin Fields, he better be looking for a transfer spot because it's going to be a while before he gets to play.
Yeah. Well, another freshman that was competing for a big job this year at Clemson was Trevor Lawrence, competing with Kelly Bryant. Kelly Bryant led them to a Final Four spot last year, and they'll be the starter going into this year. But
You know what? Listen, this Trevor Lawrence guy was so hyped up that he reminded me of Sunshine. Remember the Titans, you know? I mean, the guy's going to get about as much play time. He might be a baller like Sunshine, but you ain't going to take Red's job? No. Remains to be seen.
Fair enough. Good point.
well, unlike Justin Fields at Georgia, Lawrence won't have to wait as long. Kelly Bryant's a little bit older, so Lawrence will get a shot.
Oh, yeah.
What about Alabama? This one's talked about a lot. Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. However you say it.
Whatever. You got any thoughts on this one?
Well, I think it helps. Let me look at Webster. Tua Tagovailoa.
Yes.
I think it helps that he showed up in the biggest game that he can possibly play in last year. So I think that's what's helped him going into this year. But Jalen's been the guy before that, so I think it'll be interesting. I don't really have an opinion. It'll be up to the great Nick Saban.
My biggest thing is Jalen got you there. Nick, what's going on? Why are you selling your players out this short? You ride the guy that got you there, ride that defense. It's Georgia. Jake Fromm had a good game against Oklahoma, but you guys are Alabama. If you guys are so good, you guys should be able to win anytime. And I don't understand it. I mean, it should be Jalen's job all the way until he chokes in the regular season, which he has not proven to do. You start Jalen.
What about the guy that won it for him?
Okay, they both played that game. And
But Jalen was a dumpster fire the first half.
Jalen was
He got you all the way there, though.
he was
But he
shaky.
didn't. You would get a runner-up finish right now if Jalen Hurts had played the second half.
I don't know. You just ride the guys who got you there.
Earlier, you
that's
talked
a
about
weak
Jake
move.
Fromm not coming out that game.
Yeah, he didn't play well.
I don't know.
It's possible for both quarterbacks to not play well.
So it's a toss-up who wins.
No,
Jalen
I
Hurts
just-
has only lost 2 games as a starter at
I
Alabama.
just- Now, I just think don't leave the quarterback room is open for competition. But I just think you start the guy that got you everywhere.
That's a fair point.
He's lost 2 games as a starter. Granted, one was the national championship.
The Eagles start Nick Foles?
No.
Or the Eagles start Nick Foles? No.
No,
Exactly.
because
Not
Carson Wentz.
once
No,
Wentz is
listen,
healthy, at
listen.
least.
And I don't even know why I have to explain this. The reason why Nick Foles started is because Carson Wentz blew out his knee.
Hey,
But he
That's
won
a
it for
difference than not performing.
I'll give you a little.
He won it for him.
I'll give you a little.
It
anecdote.
doesn't.
Hey,
It
I'll
doesn't
give you.
matter.
I'll,
Carson Wentz would have won it for him.
hey, I'll give you a little anecdote.
Whatever.
So, one's a righty, one's a lefty. How are you going to change your offense if you want on the 2 QB system? If you got 2, you got none. So I mean,
That's fair. I don't like the 2 QB
It'll
system either. That's a fair point.
it'll remain to be seen. But I just don't like what Nick's doing here. I think for being the greatest coach of all time or one of the greatest, I just think this is a boneheaded move.
Yeah, they're listed as co-starters at this point. I don't like the idea that Nick's going to have to pick one sooner or later.
I agree with you guys that it's not smart to play 2 quarterbacks.
not.
I just think that the debate's interesting.
They'll be a great team with either one of them because the team around them is full of 5-star recruits. But
Yeah, I mean, they're
And
gonna
their
be
third
flat out.
string would probably be able to get it done too, honestly.
what about Michigan? They have Will Spates transfers out to UCLA, and Shea Patterson comes in and wins the job. Think he can get the job done for Harbaugh and the boys of Michigan?
Guy's got all the talent in the world, but he hasn't performed at Ole Miss. It'll remain to be seen when he does here.
I think Patterson's better than what they've had the last few years.
Oh, without question.
But I don't know. He's not the best you could have.
He's He's not Andrew Luck like Harbaugh had a few years ago. But he's a serviceable guy. I don't see him as a starter in the league by any means.
He can't do it all by himself. He's gonna need some help around him. Some guys are gonna have to step up.
He'll be all right.
He'll be all right. Well, this Thursday the season kicked off. Some of the games I was a little excited for, but there wasn't much to watch. Start out with the Missouri State at Oklahoma State game. What are your feelings on that game?
Oh my goodness, it's
Blowout
It's
at the beginning.
blowout from the beginning against, like Easton said earlier, a glorified high school team. Quarterback Cornelius shaky. He's not going to make it through the season.
I agree.
Not a chance.
They're gonna have to make a move at some point. It wasn't very accurate.
I don't even know about shaky. I think he was full on Parkinson's. I mean, it was one of the worst things I've ever watched.
It's hard to teach accuracy, so it might not work there. You're gonna have to go with a freshman or if the grad transfer from Hawaii. We'll see. What about that Northwestern State at Texas A&M game? The Texas A&M Aggies put up a lot of points. I think it was the second most yards they've ever put up. People are high because Jimbo Fisher has the offense rolling, but
You know,
much to brag about.
one of the things I like about Jimbo Fisher, I don't like much about him, but one thing to do, he's getting the tight end back in the game down in College Station. Five catches all last year. That's ridiculous.
You have to utilize your tight end.
They utilize him this game.
The security blanket for your quarterback.
They won't be the doormat of the SEC this year. I can guarantee that.
You may take my mind.
Yeah, I agree with Seth.
What about Northwestern at Purdue? That was one of the few close games on Thursday night. Two programs that aren't much, but good showing by the starting running backs for each team. Rondell Moore for Purdue. He's only 5'7", 165 pounds, but he set a Purdue single game record for all-purpose yards. He had a great game.
I'll tell you what, that man's the next Darren Sproles.
Is he?
I like that song.
Let's keep that in mind.
Jot that down right now.
They ought to call that game the Battle for the Belt Bowl, because those are two teams that are prime candidates.
This Big Ten's all hyped up this year, but
Hey, those players get a shot at belt for free.
They do. Fair enough. That's
Don't be
Don't
stealing
off the
stuff.
belt zone.
you
Yeah.
got $500
Don't steal.
for free to go there. Don't be stealing.
Some guys don't realize that. Well, now it's time for some game picks for this Saturday, brought to you by Tate Boys Tire and Service. Start out, Texas visiting Maryland. Texas lost to Maryland last year. They go to Maryland this year. Who do you have in this game?
I got the Terps.
Okay.
I'm on board with that. It's hard to tell with Texas. You just, I don't know about them.
Gonna have to go with Maryland as well. I don't think Texas has what it takes. I don't think they're back. Like they
Maryland's
keep
still
saying
the
they
Titans
are.
athletes.
I'm also going with Maryland. They're going to do it for a late teammate that they lost too soon. Going to have that chip on their shoulder and go out there and do it for him. I think.
All right.
What about Oregon State at Ohio State? No Urban Meyer in this game.
You know,
How old is Frank?
the doormat of the Pac-12 is a lot worse than the doormat of the Big Ten. I don't see the fiasco with Urban Meyer affecting them at all. I just think I don't even think it's close.
There's too much talent on this Ohio State roster. I think they'll win pretty
They
easily.
got the future #1 overall pick in Bosa. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't see any way that Ohio State loses this game. Not a single way.
Not a chance.
Unless Zach Smith makes his way onto the field with his bag of tricks, I don't see any way that they stay.
Like something.
Well, we've all agreed on these first two games. What about Alabama versus Louisville? This will be played in Orlando, neutral site, like Alabama always does. Who do you have in this one?
Is this why are we even out? Why are we even asking this?
Alabama across the board.
Alabama across the
Now I
board.
will say this.
Oh,
They might be. Hold up. I'm not picking them to lose. I'm just saying, watch out for Louisville. That offense is explosive, with or without Lamar. I think they'll keep it close for about a quarter.
If Alabama messes around with the two quarterbacks too much, this one can be a little shaky early.
what's the spread?
It's a great question. We'd have to
It's
look
like
that up.
11.5.
Well, Alabama's gonna blow it out by now.
Yeah.
Go to Vegas, put $100 on that game.
You will be $10 richer.
Well, Washington against Auburn. This one will be played in Atlanta. Great stadium down there. Number 6 versus number 9. Who do you have in this one?
I think I'm going to go with Auburn. I'm just never really a Washington believer. I don't think that people out of that conference overall can contend Washington with the SEC. That doesn't mean I don't think that Washington. I mean, they could definitely win this game, but overall, I'm going with Auburn just because of the tradition that the SEC has.
Yeah.
Jake, you got to show me something. You haven't shown up in big games the last 2 years, playoff, and then the Fiesta Bowl. What it was? Yeah, you got to show up. I mean, you lost to USC last year. You got to do something. I don't know. I just got Auburn.
Washington or Auburn?
I'm going to take Washington on this. I think they're a real contender for this game, as well as maybe making a playoff run later in the season. I'm not sure. At least the top 6.
And do you think they're the best team in the Pac-12?
I do. I do think the best team in the Pac-12.
I'm going to go with Auburn in this one. I think Jared Stidham's a pretty good player. I agree with Seth. Washington didn't show up for games like this, so not a fan of the Pac-12. How about Michigan visiting Notre Dame?
You know, we're doing an old rivalry. I like it. These are two of the blue bloods of college football. It's going to be close up till the end. I think this is the battle of the overrated, though. I think they're both a little too overhyped this year.
Yep.
I don't know. I think Harbaugh finds a way to get it done late. I've never been a huge believer in Chip Kelly. Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It remains to be seen. I just think Michigan got too much talent across the board for Notre Dame to handle right now.
Who do you have in this one?
I totally zoned out. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Michigan.
Well, okay. Well, I zoned out because it's a boring subject. Like Seth said, overrated teams.
A lot of history now.
I'm tired of the Notre Dame crap. I really am. I mean, they're decent every season, but
Anytime somebody beats them, they're back.
yeah, they're the best
It's
thing.
similar to Texas.
They're the best thing since sliced bread suddenly. And nah. Notre Dame's going to win, but I'm not buying that they're a good team.
I got Michigan. I think Seth hit the nail on the head when he said the battle of the overrated. But Seth was pretty spot on. This guy knows his stuff over here. Everything but Will Grier.
I'm taking Michigan in this one. I think Harbaugh will finally get some big wins. He started out week 1 this year. Pretty big matchup. Old rivalry. Now for the one we're all excited for. Florida Atlantic visiting Norman, Oklahoma to play the Sooners. Who do you have, Easton?
I think Baker's going to be with us in spirit. I got the Sooners.
Listen, Lane, you had a lot of hype last year in Boca Raton, but this ain't last year. It's a different year. Y'all are going to get stomped into the ground. I just don't see any way that you guys stroll into Norman and come out the dub, or even come out close. I think it's a landslide.
I
I
agree.
hope so.
I'm taking OU. I think FAU will hang with them early, but by the end of the game, people will be leaving early,
And I hope so.
carrying on with
I
their
hope
Labor
so.
Day festivities.
Move soon, baby. Move soon.
It is
There's
time.
not even a question. Not even a question. And now I don't know what
There's only one,
Well,
baby.
We see who Hayden wants in this game. It's time for Hayden Time, brought to you by Custom Roofing Solutions.
Let's go.
Hayden will pick the spread on 3 games that we've hand chosen. That put a lot of research into this, and a couple landslide lines, and one very close one. Start out with the Austin Peay at Georgia game. Georgia is a 42.5-point favorite. How's the spread going to go on this one? Austin Peay at Georgia.
Hold on, let me-
For all you people in Vegas over there, who you like?
Could you redo the numbers, please? I need to work this out.
Austin Peay at Georgia, 42.5-point spread.
42.5. Nah.
And Austin Peay. Good spread.
Oh, this is terrible. Well, boys,
You got them breaking
I'm
the
gonna have
spread?
to go with Austin Peay.
Do you think they're going to break that spread of 42.5?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a bold prediction. I think that offense is going to be pretty high powered this year in Georgia. I mean, they're
Yeah,
playing.
but what kind of jerks put up that many points on this team?
That's true. That's
Fair enough. That's a good
It
one.
is
kind of
Georgia's
It's
lost.
42.5 points. You're expecting the other team to score without feeling bad.
Georgia has lost their top 2 backs from last season, so.
You don't want to show too much early.
What about Furman at Clemson? This one's a 44.5-point spread.
From who?
Furman at Clemson. It's the second-ranked Clemson Tigers.
Dabo's dude.
Coming off a disappointing showing in the college football playoff against Alabama. They really didn't show the
To
playoff.
say the least.
It's pretty boring to watch.
Well, I got my vote vote in.
Clemson. By
I'm
the
gonna say
same
Clemson.
logic that on the last.
Right. But you gotta
like
think.
this Clemson team.
Well, okay. I understand I was being a total hypocrite on the last one
Right.
while I was writing down
Uh-huh.
my vote. My problem is, I'm a Clemson fan.
I agree. Dabo's a likable guy.
I'm a Clemson fan. Dabo is
He is.
a likable guy.
He's
He's a
your own
genuine,
guy.
likable
Now,
guy.
people understand that it's not out of hate or anything in his heart whenever he's running that score up. He's just trying to impress the voters
Correct. And so
in an SEC.
I'm gonna say Dabo does it because he's Dabo.
What about when Buddy does it for East Mississippi? Is that out of the goodness of his heart?
Buddy's just being Buddy. I mean,
Yeah.
Buddy's got a buddy.
Fair.
All right.
Oh, the last one during Hayden time is Middle Tennessee at Vanderbilt. This one's a much closer spread, 2.5 points.
Oh, this is almost a pick 'em.
So, who do you like in this one?
Well, boys, after long thought, I'm gonna have to go with Andy on this one.
Okay, so you think they'll win it comfortably, or
I think it's gonna be a comfortable win, and at least a score.
it's an in-state matchup? So
These are the bottom feeders of the SEC. I
Yeah.
just think that the top heavy SEC is going to show, and they ain't going to shine.
well, that's it for Hayden time. Brought to you by Custom Roofing Solutions. It is now time for our Tate Boys Game of the Week. Abilene Christian at Baylor. Little do you guys know, we have a former Abilene Christian star on our set today, Mr. Seth Hintergard.
I mean, star's not exactly what I call it, but let me tell you something.
Very humble man.
I've been talking to some of them boys out at ACU, and they are hungry. They know they're being slept on. I get it, it's Baylor. I mean, we don't know what to see. I mean, we like what Matt Rule's doing with the program, but we just don't know what he is. I put them on upset alert. I think them boys from ACU are ready. Their new coach, he's got them ready to go, and I just think they're going to pull the upset off.
I'd love to support your former school, but I just think Big 12 team versus an FCS opponent. Baylor might be 9th or 10th in the Big 12, but they're going to pull this one out. What's your take on this one?
Hey,
I feel
they
bad.
got-
Easton's
they got-
gonna have to go first because
True.
we're about to hear something.
Okay.
I feel bad for everybody involved on this game. Don't buy a ticket to this game. It'll be a waste of your time. Don't go. I just feel bad for the players, the fans, everybody involved.
Two teams with pretty new stadiums that are going to waste right now.
Yeah, I mean, how do you, as your Baylor, you built this brand new stadium, the RG3 built. How can you not afford bricking around the edge? You have a brick curtain that's still up. You built the stadium 6 years ago. Put some dang brick up. That's why I give ACU the edge.
Does Abilene have any brick at their stadium?
They just got concrete. They're not going to masquerade like we've got brick.
Okay, so you're fine if it's just concrete
Yes.
with no brick
Don't be
banner.
putting something on. Don't be putting a show on that you're better than you really are. I mean, we saw that happen. You guys already got bit in the butt once by that at Baylor. I mean,
Literally.
yeah, literally.
All right.
What do you have for us, Hayden?
Well, I'm taking my answer all the way back to ninth grade, Pearson.
Oh, this one's gonna hurt.
Yep. So, Class 5A SkyTech playing Class 6A Bartlesville, which your boy Abilene star Seth Hintergard went to. We ended up winning in the last second with a field goal.
Laban Fisher with the kick.
Laban Fisher with the kick.
Jarrett Templeton with the offsides to give you an extra kick. Shout out Jarrett Templeton.
Right. But I saw Seth Stafford during that game. And if that's the kind of people Abilene are picking up, there's not a chance.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Low blow. Wow. Oh,
I sat next to him thinking he was a friend.
man.
I'll sit next to you.
We're going to have to separate them next
I'll sit
week.
next to you.
Effort
Baylor
aside,
by a long shot.
Oh, wow.
are we forgetting?
Maybe a last second field goal.
But for
Oh,
real,
are we
for real.
forgetting that this same Baylor team lost to Liberty at home?
Let's not forget this.
Liberty.
Liberty's a
I don't know a lot about Liberty's program, but I don't think them and Abilene are probably a lot different.
I think a higher power had some play in that.
Hey, well, you know what? ACU's got a higher power fight for them too. So you know what? whether you're sitting down to watch ESPN late at night, you'll see Baylor getting beat. For like 5
My vote on
seconds.
Abilene has nothing to do with Seth, by the way.
Effort was great in that 9th grade game.
Your effort was great. Your effort was great all through
It
high
was
school.
not this man's fault.
No.
That game was lost by the Powers over.
No, it was not.
Mm-hmm.
You played great.
Thank you.
You're a great athlete.
Appreciate that.
I look up to you in many ways, man. I hope you sit by me next week.
TBD. Fans will have to wait and see.
Fans have to wait and see. All right.
Well, I guess we'll just let Kurt, Lee, Desmond, and
The rest of the
the rest,
staff.
the rest of the crew, Sam Ponder, take it away.
See you next week, fans.
Yay!
That was awesome.
That was pretty good.
Y'all are good.
Y'all are good.